Yeah, there's several other issues of last one.
Yeah, well, this meeting during the Board of Health order. We'll begin with the roll call.
Member Gall,
Present.
Member Lopez, Member Reel,
Here.
Member Pecora,
Here.
Member Pruitt.
Here. We have minutes from the last regular Board of Health meeting on August 13th, 2024. I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes. So,
Second.
okay. Okay.
Member Gall,
Yes.
Member Lopez, Member Reel,
Yes.
Member Pecora,
Yes.
Member Pruitt.
Yes. Okay, does anyone have any correspondence? Here visitors, anything not related to what we have on the agenda? All right. We have no old business. We have a item under new business, consideration for having fowl on property at 36 Walker Avenue. Mike, let you, or Brandon, talk about the application and anything we need to know. And then, this is, you're Kathy Young? Okay, then you'll have a chance to present what you want us to hear.
So I'm not sure the exact date, but we did receive a report of some chickens that were located on the property here at 36 Walker. One of the reports were that one of the roosters was crowing at all hours. We did reach out to Kathy. Kathy had come in, given us a handwritten letter on why she would like to keep the fowl on the property. It was later determined that there was not adequate space on the property to house these chickens. And since then, an appeal has been filed, and that's why we are here today.
Okay, can you give us just a little background on what the regulations are for having fowl on property?
Yes. Let me just find that letter.
So she did apply for a permit and was denied? Brandon, is that what you said? Did I miss something there? She had the birds, then you got involved and she applied for a permit and was denied?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, there really isn't an application for a permit to be filled out. So she had come in and give us a handwritten letter. And I do have a copy of the handwritten letter here. Some of the regulations for keeping fowl in the city of Bradford. This is the paper I'm looking for. I'm looking for the city ordinance here. It's the coop has got to be 50 foot away from any dwelling structure.
Brendan, I have it in front of me if you don't mind.
Sure.
It might be easier. Section 70-2 of the City of Bradford Code basically says it shall be unlawful for any person to keep fowl, except under permit from the City Council in its capacity as Board of Health. No such permit shall be granted unless such fowl shall be kept in a coop. So that's step number one. It has to be a coop. The construction and location of which shall be approved by the Board of Health. such approval to be granted when the board is satisfied that, and there's 3 criteria you have to be satisfied with before the coop can even be constructed. A, such coop shall be of adequate size for the number of fowl proposed to be housed therein. B, such coop shall be sturdily constructed in such a manner so as to permit proper drainage and to facilitate proper cleaning and sanitary maintenance thereof. And as Brandon just alluded to, finally, the grounds upon which such coop is situated shall be a sufficient area and so located that the coop shall, and the word shall is important, that's generally regarded legally as mandatory, shall be located at least 50 feet from any building used as a dwelling. Areas to focus on.
Okay, Brandon, I presume you've inspected this property,
Yes.
okay? And there is a coop on the property with chickens
Correct.
currently.
Should we define a coop? Not a coop.
I do have pictures.
Oh,
Could I present them?
Please.
sure, please.
Chickens are there in the property?
Yeah.
Are they just in the coop where there's a fenced-in area?
Seven of them are in a coop in a fenced-in area. 3 of them are just in the fenced-in area. Fenced-in coop area.
Okay. This does not appear in the pictures to be a commercially, well, maybe it is. There's a commercially constructed coop inside of a fenced covered area.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so we've defined the construction. Would you say that the size of the coop, the size of the commercially constructed coop, is sufficient for 10 chickens?
I would say, in my opinion, not 10 full-grown chickens. Currently, there's 3 full-grown chickens and what appears to be some other breed of chickens that are, maybe I would consider chicks, that are not very big.
And third, the approximate size of I presume this is in the back of the property?
Correct.
The approximate size of the area of the back of the property.
I would say the backyard is probably a total of 30 foot by 40 foot wide.
Okay. And the coop is currently approximately how far from the house?
From the address at 36,
Yes.
the coop is approximately 20 foot in that structure.
Are there occupied structures in back of this house?
Immediately on both sides.
Both within 50 feet?
No, at 34 Walker, the coop is approximately 15 foot 6 inches from that structure. 36, which is Kathy's house, is
Yep.
approximately 20 foot from her structure. And the house on the opposite side of that, which is 38, is approximately 40 foot.
Now, when you're saying coop, you're not including the enclosure, you're saying the actual little hut within that enclosure.
That is to the enclosure.
Are there houses behind the property?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys feel is pertinent at this point for this application / request to continue keeping the chickens there.
I have a question for him.
Okay, yeah,
Have there been any complaints from any of the neighbors?
The only complaints that we received were, the roosters crowing.
Roosters, one or two?
There was two roosters. She had gotten rid of the roosters.
They were both adults?
Correct.
You don't have one. They usually kill each other if they have more than one. I used to raise chickens. I know all about this stuff.
I'm pretty sure there was two.
Too. I didn't know what they were when we got the chicks, and when they started crowing, I got rid of them.
So other than the crowing, when she had two, is there still complaints with the crowing with one? Because that's what roosters do. They crow in the morning.
We've not received any complaints since she's gotten rid of the roosters.
Are you get rid of both the roosters? Okay.
okay. Any other questions?
So they're always enclosed? Have you never heard any reports of them free ranging at all outside the enclosure?
I've never gotten any report.
And just to go back over this, so she put the setup in before she ever asked for permission, got a permit. And that it does not, you've had some complaints from neighbors, but they were about the roosters, she got rid of the roosters. But the current enclosure, coop, pen, hut, whatever it is, does not meet the 50-foot requirement for the two neighboring dwellings.
Correct.
And with the size of the property, it appears that it couldn't, even if it was moved to the very back of the property.
It would be impossible.
And actually, from a humane standpoint, if you really want to get down to the animals themselves, those coops aren't adequate for 7 to 10. Each chicken should have 4 square feet. And there's not enough space in that coop to give them that.
Correct. I was going to actually see the little small.
Here's where we're veering off, it's still the city, it's still Brandon's turn, we have to keep an order here. I'm not trying to, just, you'll have your turn.
Okay,
So I would agree with a councilman or a member goal was saying that if you're supposed to have 4 square feet per chicken, doesn't appear to be adequate. Also from someone who's to have chickens. I mean,
okay, any additional questions? Anything more from the city? Okay, Ms. Young?
I have like just stuff to show you. I don't know who I give it to first. This is what this tells you what I want. Okay. And here's actually pictures of when I got the chicks and what they are. Because these are mini chickens, but I don't have all of them because I got rid of some of them. That is the enclosure. But no, I gave him those to the feedery. I don't know what he did with them. I don't want to know because I don't want to know if he did. Yeah. The little chicks are not always kept in the smaller enclosure. See, they're different ages, so they had to have the heat lamp longer. And since I applied for the permit, I didn't get it, and he told me not to mess with the coop and stuff, so I didn't expand it like I was going to because it, like you said, it does need to be bigger. But this is where my other
if you
chickens.
want to hand them, then they'll come down.
This
You submitted these as evidence to it?
Yes, these are all yours. But these are where I actually let them out this morning. And, so they're all in the actual enclosure together with the big ones. See, because with them being mini chickens, I don't want the big ones to peck them right away in the morning. So I kind of feed them all together like a snack. And they're kind of like pets. This is what I fed them this morning. But,
I think we're more concerned about the legalities of the
Yes.
team.
Yes, that's just showing you the size and that they come out. And this was one of the roosters that I don't have. I did get rid of him. But I just wanted to show, he was the one that was causing the complaints. Yeah. Yeah, he was the one that was causing the complaints, but that's the stuff, all the letters and everything.
It's like Fargo.
His name was Alfredo. We all named him.
It was white.
Yeah.
Foghorn. I'm afraid of sauce.
Okay, I'll pass this across. The, the beginning is quite detailed description, which I just kind of went through quite quickly here. Some code stuff, some property stuff. I will say that there, are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 letters from the neighborhood.
Correct.
Letters of support.
Letters of support.
Wait, hold on a second. What, are the neighbors at 34 and 38 in favor of having the chickens? Are they included in those letters?
38 and 36,
That's her place. So 34.
34, excuse me, 34. Yep, it's Kyle, yep. Okay. Yep, yep. So then, we also have a inspection from Amanda Tanner, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, that she visited the chickens and they were healthy and active. Let's see. We have a report on some cats.
Oh, yeah, those are strays that I have been having
Okay.
vaccinated because they
Okay.
have, diseases on my chickens.
And we also have a letter of support from the Guidance Center, which I'll let everyone read.
Letter of support.
A letter concerning a treatment plan. I'll just let everyone read that rather than going into that detail. So I'll pass this across.
So if you were granted permission to have these chickens, would you build a more suitable and permanent structure from that? Because to me, that's barely temporary.
Yes. But that's the plan.
Would 10 chickens be the limit? Would you consider having more chickens at any point? Okay.
See, I kind of like the mini chickens, so I would just really want to stay with mini chickens once the big ones are gone, but the big ones my daughter raised.
Okay.
And she's really attached to them, so of course I don't want to just get rid of them. Too.
Are you producing eggs from these chickens?
My first egg yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was really excited.
Is that part of the intent
Yes.
of having the chickens is producing eggs?
Yes, that actually is in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, and you don't have any adult roosters, so there's no guarantee that any of the small ones aren't roosters.
They're all hens.
Because every one of them's a hen. So then you won't be reproducing and having them if you don't have a rooster to sell it.
To replace them, obviously, because I can't.
I think
Okay.
Member Proper said you don't intend to go beyond.
Strictly for going beyond 10.
Well, if we grant a permit for no more than 10, we could make that part of it.
It's actually in here that I was requesting to keep, no more than 12, and I currently have 10, is what I said.
So, say no more than 12, but no adult roosters.
Correct. That's fine with me, because, I don't want the roosters either.
Okay, so often we hear, when they get all the people that are on their side to hear from them. Is there anybody in your neighborhood that's opposed to you having a chicken? And you,
To Kim, but Kip, Bob, and his wife because they walk the trail, you know,
So-
out back.
So, and you don't intend to let them free range? And that the two houses that you would be in violation with have written letters of support in favor of you having these chickens is part of a treatment program. Is that what, they've said something true? So are these like essentially, are you saying they're emotional support chickens? Is that what we're getting at here? Was part of, I heard you say it was part of a treatment program?
Reasons, yes.
May I comment? So I want to be fully transparent. As a member of the board, I am committed to taking the city back from those over the years that have contributed to the decay and the decline of the city, to the point where we drive down some of the streets in the city and it looks like we're in a third world country. So I have to look at your request in totality. The first thing I have to ask myself is, does this advance my cause or detract from my cause? Secondly, as an animal lover, I find it disturbing, even chickens, I get how you can get, you know, attached to them. I find it disturbing that you went and set all this up and then came to us, I think, playing on the emotions of the council. I've already got the chickens, they're not gonna make me get rid of them. And I find that to be disturbing. Third, you're not here asking for a permit, you're asking for a waiver, a significant waiver from the 50 feet rule. And regardless of the fact that your neighbors have signed letters of approval, once we set this precedent, every person in Bradford could come to us and, well, you gave her a permit for 25 feet, I have 10 feet, I want to raise them. And don't get me wrong, I sympathize with your situation as far as how attached you are to them. So that doesn't have anything to do with it, but my bigger picture here is, if we open Pandora's box here, how do we close it? And then we have people, I'm not saying it's you, we have people come in here all the time, and this is what my intent is, this is what I'm gonna do, this is the coop I'm gonna build, and then we have to go back out and follow up on it, especially since it involves animals. And right now, the city's not in a position to have to monitor that with everything else that we have going on. So I just want to be very transparent as far as I'm looking at the overall picture, and I understand your situation.
Interesting, your one neighbor here says, the chickens have been a joy. I love Alfredo crowing in the morning. My grandchildren and I have enjoyed hearing him learning to crow. And this is the rooster that's gone now. Interesting, the next door neighbor loves the other crow. It's big early riser.
I will make a comment that doesn't relate directly to this hearing, but before I forget, there are a couple of those letters from the neighbors. Make sure you guys read them in detail, because it has nothing to do with her case, but it has stuff to do with quality of life issues in the neighborhood that have absolutely nothing to do with your chickens. And I think there are a few things in there you guys need to look at, which the neighbors chose to make comments while they were supporting her. They were saying there are some other problems in the neighborhood that we're seeing. So I wanted to make mention of that before. I was going to wait till the end, but
Well, given that you made mention of that, that also goes to, if we want to advance that neighborhood and somebody were to move in from outside of the city, are they going to put money into a home with chickens right next to them? I'm just saying, they can say quality of life issues are going on, however, by granting a waiver, are we continuing that trend?
we have granted people the ability to have fowl in the past, and we've also turned people down in the past. Not always a cut and dry decision. My concern with this would be that it would not be more than 10, or as you said, 12. They could never be free range, and that the coop is not accurate. The coop and pen are not permanent. If I were to vote that way, I would make those conditions of that. It'd be a conditional waiver with stipulations like that, or any of the other council members may have. But there's clearly concern.
I think we would also have to put a condition in there that I know we've done with many other,
Yearly visits or that.
yearly visits, or I think probably at this point, it would
I
be
think that's in the
a 30-day visit to make sure that the coop is updated, and then, I don't know, maybe 6 months and then a year after that.
If she's gonna get an adequate coop, she's gonna have to get a building permit and do it properly.
Well, would she need one if commercially, that coop that's in there now, I believe it looks like that was purchased commercially? Yeah, if you purchase a commercial coop and move it in there, do you need a building permit?
If she purchased and brought it in there, it's still your structure the size of a sheet of plywood, 8 by 4 would be 48 feet. And you're supposed to have 4 feet per chicken, so 12 times 4 is 48. So you'd have a permanent structure the size of a sheet of plywood. So that would be considered a permanent structure. It's not a plastic dog house or something. It's got to be a permanent structure with substantial height to it. So it would have to be. Just my math on it.
She would need to file for a zoning application and be approved.
You need a zoning approval to be able to have a permanent coop. That could be also part of our condition.
She has inadequate.
Well, I would think just that zoning would initially deny her because of the setback requirements, then she'd have to go for a variance with her neighbor's help. That's what would have to happen. Because you follow what we're saying here, the zoning aspect of this, the zoning wouldn't allow you to have the chickens because you don't meet the setback requirements. So you would be denied.
Space.
Well, it's not about space, it's about the setback requirements. What I'm trying to explain is if you go for zoning approval on it, you're probably going to be denied and have to pay $100 and file for a variance and have a hearing. And at that point, you'd have to have your neighbors come and actually testify that they're in favor of you because they're the ones who are, or zoning's being violated if this thing is too close to them. So even, Councilor Kleckner, I'm wrong, even if we give her a conditional waiver, there's still a zoning issue. What's that?
You're not.
So even if we give you this condition, it's not the end of the road for you. You still have to follow us. So, and she's correct, it's 150. Everything's gone up the last 4 years. Anybody else have any questions?
No, someone like to craft a,
Do you want us to put it in writing? I would be willing to propose that we offer her a conditional waiver for no more than 12 chickens, and that the chickens may not free range outside the enclosed pen, that she has to invest within 2 or 3 months, pending approval of zoning, and a more permanent coop with a building permit and zoning approval. And if she's denied a variance by zoning, then the conditional waiver would be denied. But normally, it seems like the neighbors, some of them love to hear chickens, but I know I lived out in the country and there was still an issue with the neighbors, and she's in a condensed neighborhood. So, I mean, that's what I would propose, but again, no more than 12, no free range, invest in a more permanent coop with a building permit once you've received zoning approval, which you'll probably have to get a variance because you would not meet the setback requirements. You'd probably be denied by the zoning board initially, have to file a variance. And if they deny you, then what I'm proposing, only conditional waiver would be rescinded.
And if I may, Mayor, I'm certainly not going to suggest how any of you vote, because it does not appear there's conformity with the regulations here. But if you were to put some conditions on it,
The veterinarian thing is, I think, it's our ordinance.
no, yeah, I'm not even looking at that. It's nice, but this is irrelevant to me because she does not seem to meet your code. But I'd put in there that, the conditional permit would also be revoked if there's objection from any neighbor. So that way, if you have other people come to you with neighbors objecting to Councilman Goal or Member Goal's thought, you're setting a precedent, you know, you want to be careful about doing it.
This is all reported in right there, so it also include the conditional waiver would include possible revocation if there were complaints from any of the neighbors. We'll put that in writing.
Okay.
I got that. So we're clear on that. No more than 12, no free range. You have to invest in more permanent, coop with a building permit, following zoning approval or approval of a variance from zoning. And this will all be conditional based on that. It will also be conditional on, and be able to be revoked if the city or the Department of Property Maintenance started receiving complaints about the chickens in it. Would that be something that you would be agreeable to if we did pass it? You said yes, right? So to make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
Yeah, I tried. What do you want from me? I like chickens. There's no second, we can't vote on it. So I made the motion and nobody's seconding it, so.
Okay.
Any other business?
Nope. Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Cliff's-
Where you go?